Good evening, class. Our discussion for this week is to identify and discuss specific challenges and issues in rural communities for social workers. So, the greatest thing that we find is the lack of resources available to those who do live in those areas. And because of the lack of the resources, when you get a social worker assigned or you finally get one for that area, the social worker has to wear many hats, according to Humble's article that we were to read. The social worker will have to deal with many aspects and call upon their knowledge and skills as clinical social workers, group workers, community organizers, researchers, administrators, just all the things they are responsible for. There's a lack of health care and providers. There's transportation issues. So with all of those things, the social worker is, as Humble calls it, the agent of change. They have to do everything in that ability. Sometimes they have to perform all of their duties in isolation, so that can be challenging when you can't get enough other help or being able to do a lot of face-to-face supervision or things like that. In these underserved areas that we tend to call rural areas, one of the biggest ethical challenges that you would have would be in the small towns. Pretty much everybody knows everybody. So if a social worker is showing up to help someone, then the rest of the town's wondering what's going on with them. Are they sick? Do they have a mental health issue? Are they using drugs? What is the problem? And they generally want to know. A problem for the social worker in that area is specifically, you may work with those people in schools. You may have a child that attends the same school, go to church, serve on boards, go to the same places, do the same things as the families in these areas. So it's very important that you use the code of ethics and be able to work through those issues and challenges that you would experience. You would not want to break confidentiality. That would be, I would think, the largest issue is the confidentiality, being sure not to tell your friends or family at church or wherever you may encounter these people who you're seeing and why, even if they ask questions. You don't have enough distance. So you also got to be able to balance the dual roles. And if you're doing group work, then you got to take into consideration that you will also have those same people that you're dealing with. Just identifying those dual relationships. And one of the largest things is to understand the family, the social, the political, and the cultural context that influence members. So if you know a specific family really well, and chances are you cannot use your own bias in dealing with those people and providing the resources and help. That's where the code of ethics comes in, where you have to be self-aware and not allow your own personal bias or experiences with that family determine whether you're going to provide the help or the resources for them. Everyone is entitled to the same kind of help, and they deserve the same confidentiality, relationship, and everything as everyone else. So while there could be some good things in that, and it's always good to have a social worker, we definitely do not have enough of them, and it is something that is needed in the community. But we must be aware and conscious of the ethical dilemmas and issues that we can get ourselves into, mainly with the dual relationships and the confidentiality. But it is good to provide as many resources. I see as a positive that when you are in church or school or whatever with these same folks, that you could just speak to them and help them and provide resources just kind of from a person to person standpoint. But you have to be careful that if you're called upon to be the social worker, not just a friend or family member, then you got to be able to set aside the professional and the personal feelings. So there's a lot of challenges in the rural areas, but I also think that makes it more necessary to need social workers in those areas. Thank you.